Recording.
Awesome, thank you. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to today's presentation where we'll be updating the company incident information and go through the hours worked application so you can get that entered and have it auto-populate on the OSHA 300A form in Insight VIA. We'll also take a look at a couple other features in there and applications just to make it a more efficient experience for everyone in the Insight VIA system. We do ask, please, that everyone keep your computers and phones on mute during the presentation. Please enter any questions or comments that you have in the Teams chat, and we will be able to address that at the end and kind of open that up for discussion if you have anything that you need some answers to or want to review over again. This presentation is being recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel when we are finished with the session for users to reference. And I did go ahead and I provided a link to the YouTube channel in the Teams chat if you'd like to save that link to reference any other maybe webinars or training videos that we've done with other applications. First of all, I'd like to also introduce myself. I am Rachel Merchant, and I'm a Client Success Manager for Dacre North America in the Insight VIA and Adaptive BBS software systems. I've been with Dacre for 6 years, and I assist clients in both systems with implementation and just overall tech support. It's kind of hard to believe that we're getting toward the end of the year, but next month is going to be a super busy month, especially for the safety professionals and just getting all of your OSHA records updated and submitted. So we thought today would be a great time to, get a head start on updating these forms in Insight VIA so that by January you can just easily access, have all the information updated, and then you would be able to submit it on time without the stress, and trying to squeeze it in last minute. So we do really appreciate everyone taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today, and we also very much value your time. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. As you know, Insight VIA is a roll-level based system, so it'll allow users to update the company incident information for each location, and then this is going to auto-populate when you hit print on the OSHA forms. Today, we're kind of reaching out mainly to the location admin and higher role levels, as they will be the only ones that have access to the applications, the hours worked application, and company incident info. Now, only corporate role level users will be able to get into the incident reporting admin side and view, update the company incident information page. And then also we have a hours worked admin that they can get into. This will allow them to restrict the number of days employees are allowed to enter the hours per month. Just kind of give them a limited number of days. And then the location admin through higher role levels will also have the access to our hours worked application where they will be able to enter the hours worked each month. And then those numbers will total up at the end of the year and display on the OSHA form. So here's something we are going to cover today. I'm going to start with the company incident information updates for corporate role levels, and then we're going to talk about how to get if you are interested in using our hours worked admin to restrict users and their timeframes of when they can enter that information. Great. And then after that, we'll get into what would apply to the location through higher role levels and how to enter those hours worked. Once all that complete, I'll show you how to get to the OSHA forms and how to print those OSHA forms and how to easily access that. And then we have the recordable first aid OSHA reports. There's a couple there that we can take a look at in case you want to print off some OSHA reports for several locations instead of just one at a time. We got some dashboard links to applications I wanted to show you just for a quick reference in case you only visit maybe a few applications here and there and frequent visits to them. Instead of having to navigate through our menu, it would just be a one click that would link you directly into that page so that you can save some time there. I'll kind of go over some of the help files too, so you guys know where to reference some of our help files, our live chats and stuff. We'll take a look at that. And then at the end, like I had mentioned, we'll open it up to answer any questions that you provide in the chat. Or if you want to raise your hand and open a discussion, we can sure do that too. So when we get into the company incident information page, it's going to ask for the average number of employees. I pulled this from our help file as just kind of a reference that number one, to do this, you'd want to add the total number of employees your establishment has paid in all pay periods during the year. So that would include all employees. That's full-time, part-time, temporary, seasonal, salaried, hourly. And then you would want to count the number of pay periods your establishment had during the year. Just be sure to include any pay periods when you had no employees also. And then you divide the number of employees by the number of pay periods. And then, of course, round the answer to the next highest whole number, and then type the answer into the field marked average number of employees. We'll go ahead and go in there and take a look at that now. This is the access path on how to get there. Corporate users would use the administration menu, and then you go into the program C where most of your programs fall to make changes. You go into Incident Administration, and it will be the first choice selected at the top of the flyout menu there, called Company Incident Information. I'm going to get out of the PowerPoint here, and we'll go do more interactive in that so you can see how to edit some of this information. So we did go from Administration, Program C, Incident Admin, and Company Incident Information. You can also track your trail through our breadcrumbs at the top here. It shows you how you got to the destination you're at. So on this page, definitely you want to make sure that the correct year is selected. So for this year coming up in January, we want to make sure it's going to default to 2022. Just make sure that you go in and select the 2021 year. And so in some of these you can see, we'll click Edit to view this top location here. These are the fields that you would want to enter your information into. So you have your industry description. This is where you would enter the SIC code. Once you've calculated the average number of employees, you can enter that here. And then here's a quick drop down to just to categorize the size, whether it's less than 20, within 20 to 250, or more than 250 employees. You know, we've got the county, your company executive. We also have the ability, if you want to add a signature here, that would also populate on the OSHA form with the signature line, as well as print their name. And then you've got the title and the phone number, and then just save when you're done. Now, initially, when you first get in here and they're blank, you haven't done this before, you will have to set this up for all locations. However, the next year, if nothing has changed or you just need to make some minor edits, we do have the ability to copy over last year. So for instance, Minneapolis warehouse here, nothing really has changed. I just want to bring over the copy of last year, so I'm going to hit copy last year. It's going to auto-populate what I had typed in there last year. You can make any changes needed, add a signature, and then just save. And so now you're all set up. Once you have all those entered, all the companies and stuff, then we are ready to go look at the hours worked administration. All right. So the hours worked administration, you access that through your admin menu as well, but instead of program C, we're going to go to Administration C. And then it's at the top here, just go to the hours worked admin. Like I mentioned, this allows corporate users, if you want to only allow your location through business unit employees to have access to entering hours, only certain days of the month, say we could enter 5 days before and 5 days after. And then anytime, any days that fall before that 5th day before or 5th day after, they would not have the ability to enter hours until that time frame came around. They would have to actually reach out to a corporate person to go in there and allow them more days to do that. You'd want to make sure this box is checked here, the restrict hours worked access for the entire corp. And then it is BU specific or business unit specific. So you would select the business unit that needs to have the restriction, and it's going to apply to all locations that fall under that business unit. We also have the ability, some of you may or may not see this, it may be grayed out, but we do have an account corp setting that allows you to restrict or to assign certain users to only enter certain employee hours, whether it's regular employees, contractor hours, temp hours, and different. You'd want to make sure that they can enter any months or years. And so you can assign that to users. Some of you may or may not have that feature, but if you are interested in turning that on for your company, please reach out to your account manager or customer service, and we can help you get that assigned or turned on for you so you can start restricting users specifically. Once corporate is done and has everything set up on the company incident information side, and if they're using the hours, admin has the restrictions set, then we would want to go, and this is going to apply to the location admin through corporate users. They will have access to this page. Again, you just want to make sure that the correct year is going to be selected because it always does default to the current year you're in. So once January hits, if you wait till January to do this, you want to make sure that 2021 is selected. If you have the setting turned on in our account corps page to add restrictions to users for the different types of employees, then you would see this. Otherwise, you will not see this. It will be hidden. Once you have that selected, make sure the correct business unit is selected as well to update the hours. And then it's really simple. I have, because I'm corporate or RCI admin, I have access to making edits to everything. However, a location admin user may only have, say, to Minneapolis, would only have access to that. They would not see a button in this left-hand side. They would only see the one here. And if they're not restricted, they would have any time during the year to enter these hours. If they do have restrictions set for 5 days before or after, they won't see that button until that period is ready for them to enter and comes up. But it's super simple. You just go in and just type in the hours for each month. And then since we're not done with December, I haven't put anything in there. And then just go ahead and save. It's going to calculate the total number of hours per year. And it's going to show up on the OSHA form when you hit print so that you can have that included as well on that 300A form. All right, and once we have all that set up, the location users have their hours entered, or corporate may be doing it by themselves, but whoever is in charge of that, you get that all set up, then you're ready to go print your OSHA forms. The way to get to the OSHA forms, and this is also going to be location admin and higher, location edit does not have access to the recordable first aid incidents. You would go through applications, incident reporting, and then we'd go to our recordable first aid incidents. To print an OSHA form or to have them populate off to the right here, you have to have a location selected. If you have show all selected, it will not populate because we print forms per location. The next thing that you want to make sure that you have selected too for the OSHA forms is the correct year. And so we have to go over here. We have the 2021 selected so that we can make sure that it's going to print records only for that year. Then you just scroll over to this side and we're going to go ahead and print the OSHA form for Galveston. I can scroll in a little bit here. So now you can see the company incident information that the corporate user entered is going to show in the establishment information on the 300A form. You will also see the SIC code. The average number of employees will populate here, and then the hours that were worked for the entered for this location are going to be totaled and entered right here. This is the signature feature I was mentioning. If you want to add a signature, this is where you would see the signature. Otherwise, it would remain blank if you did not, but it would still include the company executive, their title, and any information that you entered in that company incident information page. Get out of this one. And so that's an easy way if you want to print by location. We do have some OSHA reports that you can look at. And that's going to be in our report library. So you just click on the report library and you'll have most location admin users are only going to have a location menu. So I'm going to reference this. Corporate BU and region may have a little bit more, but they all run the same reports. It's just if you're going to run a region report as a region user, you just want to make sure that it will run for all locations. You can't break it down to location. It's only going to break it down to region. So what I like to do is I like to always use the location report so I can make it a little more granular and break it down per location. Your OSHA form reports are going to fall under your recordable first aid incidents. And the one that I have pulled up right now, this is the one that would allow you to print multiple locations at one time to show you their information that would populate on the OSHA forms when you print them. You can just click on the 300A export and you'll see the name of the report here. Make sure that you have the business units, the regions, and any locations that need to be included in that, the correct year that you're filing for, and then just hit view report. Once you hit view report, you'll see this populate. It's kind of a larger report. So because it doesn't all fit into the report window, you can go right here to this little icon. It's got a little arrow for a drop down. And then you can open that, say in an Excel file, to take a look at it. And if this isn't too small for everyone to see, it's you'll be able to see all the information that we entered for the locations that we just looked at in North America, especially. It will include all that information in this report, so you don't have to select one location at a time in the recordable first aid instance under applications. This is just a quick report to run so that you can view all that data here. You can also, if you wanted to get this once a year, just to kind of take a look to see what needs updated or what's been entered, what hasn't been entered, you can do report subscriptions. Some of you may already be familiar with these, but if you're not, for some of our new clients, what it allows you to do after you view the report, you can say you want to get this quarterly or maybe monthly, daily. We can also, if we need to add a frequency in here too, we can do that. But either way, just go ahead and select the frequency of your choice. I'm just going to go ahead and hit monthly on the first. The file format that you want, and these are, you can always change these at any time once you subscribe to it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in Excel. You can give it any friendly name that you choose. So I would put OSHA export. You can add the subscription here if you're just adding it for yourself. However, we do have the ability to subscribe others. To do that, you just check the little subscribe others button. The page will refresh, and then you want to come down here. And right now I've got Galveston because that's where I was at last. And so the red, they have no email address. If you want to subscribe others, just make sure on the user employee administration page, you go in to edit their profile, go ahead and give them an email that this subscription would need to send to, and then go ahead and select them in the list for the team that you want to receive. And then you would type in a group name so that it's easy to locate when say you want to make a group update to it. You can do that as well. And then just hit the add subscription for others. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the add subscription. So the page refreshes, and then if you want to view if that actually saved or not, you would want to click on the report library. And then you can view down here your subscriptions. And these are just some, let me get this menu out of the way. There we go. These are just some of the subscriptions that or reports I have subscribed to, just for an example. You can kind of see how that layout is. You can always go in to view it. We also do have a resend subscriptions button that would only send subscriptions that you have to your email again. It would be for all. You do not select like certain, it would send all of the subscriptions to your email, but once it does send on the frequency of your choice, or if you choose this button to send it, it will confirm that the mail was sent to. It has the email address that it was sent to, the date, and the time may not be in your local time. So that's not really pertinent, but you can at least see what time that what date, sorry, the subscription was sent to your email. If it is in red, it may say over here there are some parameters that are not valid. That just means that you need to go into viewing that report, and then you can make updates to the parameters, view the report again, and then there's an update subscription button so that you can get that updated and resend to your email. And that's kind of how our report subscriptions work. We can take a look at the other OSHA incident. This one was just kind of the corporate roll-up just means that it's going to add everything on the OSHA form from all locations. It's not breaking it down by locations. And it's very simplified report. You just pick the year. It's going to bring up this form. We can export that to PDF. And you can see here, it's just combining everything that has been entered at all locations for your corporation or industry. Just kind of a quick view there. Now I just wanted to kind of touch base too on our homepage dashboard links. I don't know if you're aware or not. However, we can link to applications within the system. So this is kind of a pretty lengthy list, as you can see. You may not have that many applications in your list. However, if you are one of our clients that have a larger list and want to just have some quick links to frequently visit applications, you would go into so for instance, I added some links here. I have the company incident information page where we went to this page here. I just took and I copied the URL, and then I went back to my dashboard or home, sorry, on my links tab and scrolled down here. I entered the name that I would recognize that would help me, and then I entered the URL here and I just hit save link or add link, and it's going to populate up here. And you can tell if it's a self link or if it's a company link that was added. And that's just all users have the ability to add my links to their own home dashboard page. It would not affect anybody else. They're only going to see their personal links here. You can add or remove them as needed. Corporate users can also have the ability to adding dashboard links for everyone to see. So for instance, this OSHA website could have been added by a corporate user because they need everyone at their company to be able to have access to that site. It can be internal, it can also be external websites. And they do that. That's also under the administration, your admin C, and dashboard builder. There's 3 options. You can add a company message that they can see when they log in to the system. You can add images and stuff there, but the one that we were just at with the links tab comes from our dashboard builder dashboard links. And what you can do here is, if it's to an outside system, just copy that URL, or even if it's internally, you want everyone to have easy access, maybe to the training module or to policy manual, just copy that URL. You can enter the link name here that would be most familiar, whether it is policy manual, training. As you can see, some of these we've added before. And then the link URL, and then you'd want to put that as a company link or site link. You can order your links in the order that you choose, and then just save it. And once you've saved that, it just means that all users are going to have access to seeing that link. Now, necessarily, you wouldn't want to put the recordable first aid link for everyone to see, just because not all role levels would have access to that. So that would be something that I would encourage your location admin and higher role levels to add as personal links. But then it just kind of makes it easier so that you guys don't have to go through all of the menu, and, you know, especially with the company incident information page for corporate users, you're only going to maybe be doing that once a year, you know, getting in there, making updates if needed. So it'd be a nice, instead of having to remember every year, how did I get there last year? You would have a quick link on your homepage, My Links tab, that would take you directly there for just a quick reference and to make those updates. Now, if you have any questions or you need help, maybe you need some visual assistance, you know, from our help files, we do have some help options here. We have the help desk tickets that you see blinking right here. We have someone that mans those tickets. They can provide answers to you. It's a way also, if you enter a ticket or if you have an issue, you can go in and see your company's incident issues that have been reported, and then you can say, oh, somebody's already reported this, or maybe the issue has occurred before, and then you can say, how did they fix that? And you would have reference and just be logged in your help desk tickets to say, okay, now I know how to fix this, you know, because it has been a known issue before. It was something that someone came across, you know, didn't know how to get to, and so you have some logged references there. We also have the ability to speak to a live chat person. We have live chat is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we have somebody that would be available if you want to just say you forgot a password or you need help navigating the system, you run into any issues. You can contact our live chat as well. Kind of show you what that looks like. So just go ahead and enter your name. You can enter your email here and then the subject line. You can add an additional message here so that we kind of know a little bit more about what you are needing assistance with, and then go ahead and hit send email. Even if our live chat is not active at that time, we don't have somebody on there, it's say on a weekend or something, you have an issue, you can still submit live chats and it'll just send to our email so that we can get back to you at as soon as possible. We also have the 1-800 number. I can post that in the comments, but we have our customer support 1-800 number you can always call to, or you can reach out directly to your client success manager through their extension, and we are happy to help you at any time. If you're in any issues, you have any questions, maybe need additional training or something, please feel free to contact us using any of our help options here, and we'll be happy to help you. Last but not least, we have our help files. And in our help files, you can look up, for instance, if you don't have a link or forgot how to get there, you can just type that in the search. It's going to bring up any related articles. This is going to populate at the top here. And so it's going to show you, give you a little bit of information here, but it's also going to show you how to get there with some step-by-step instructions and make it easier for you. This applies to all of our applications too, not just what we went over today. So you're in training, or if you're in incident reporting, you need to add an incident, but you forgot, you know, the steps to take, maybe why something's not populating or not coming up for you. We have several help files for you to reference. I know we had dedicated this whole session to an hour. However, the material does not take an hour to go over. So I'd like to go ahead, and if it's okay with everyone, if you have any questions, or I'd like to just open it up for discussion. So is there any questions that we have from any of the users that have been attending, or maybe you joined on late and missed something I need to go back over?
Hey, Rachel, I also included the YouTube channel over in the chat and also the 800 number so everybody can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, as I had said before, we are going to have that recording